Hello, this is a totally fake smile because I've had so many technical issues this morning. I'm ready to scream and throw my computer. Anyway, we're doing 6-2 today, slope of a line. So I'm going to give you a few notes first, and then we'll do examples. What in the world? Unbelievable. Okay, now my heading is gone. I give up. Whatever, the heading is gone. I don't even care. Here we go. Okay, slope. So slope, remember, is noted by the letter M. The M means slope, and slope is your rise over your run. So that's rise is going up or down, and run is going always to the right. When you do slope, you either go up or down, depending on if it's positive, you go up, if it's negative, you go down, but then you always go to the right, positive, for the other bottom number of your slope. And a formula that we're going to use for this today is going to be slope equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So they're going to give us some coordinates, and then we're just going to plug them into that formula, and it will tell us what the slope is of the line. Okay? So let's see. I think I'm going to do the rest of the notes first. So if you have a horizontal line, remember horizontal is going sideways, left to right, you're going to have an equation that is y equals something. So it'll be y equals 6 or y equals negative 3. But y is going to equal something, and that's how you know if you have a horizontal line. If you have a vertical line, it's going to be x equals something. X equals 5, or x equals negative 8, whatever it might be. Okay, so horizontal line, y equals something. Vertical line will be x equals something. And I'll show you some examples of that in a few minutes. So we're going to be in the book on page 250, and we're just going to go through numbers 1 through 12, as many as we can get to. All right, for number 1 on page 250, it says, find the slope of each line. Note that each graph contains 2 lines. So you have to have your book out so you can see what I'm doing. That's for everyone in here too. Kadeja, win surprise. So I'm going to look at page 250, number 1, and the first line I will do is line that has the point A. So first I have to write down the coordinates of the points on that line. So if you notice the line that has point A, it has 2 points on it. So we're going to use the coordinates for those 2 points on those lines. Get your books. Why? Because you're bringing me Starbucks tomorrow? Okay. So the first point A is at negative 5, 4. And Christian, you're bringing me Starbucks on Wednesday? Yeah. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, negative 1 is the other point on that line. All right, so I'm just looking at the points and putting the coordinates for those 2 points. Now I can use that formula that I showed you a few minutes ago, which is m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, and I'm just going to label these x1, y1, x2, y2, and plug them into that formula. So I have m equals negative 1 minus 4 over 4 minus negative 5. So the thing you have to be most careful of with these formulas is when you get the 2 negatives in the middle. Don't leave one of them out or you're going to get the wrong answer. So my 2 negatives here are going to turn positive, and I'm going to get m equals negative 5 over 9. that is the slope of my first line. So let's look at the coordinates for the second line, which has the B on it. And I see 1, 2, and I see 3, 3. So again, I'm going to label these so I don't get confused, and then I'm just going to plug them into the formula. 3, nope, I did that wrong. Oh, well, they're both 3, so I did it right. Okay. 3 minus 2 over 3 minus 1. And 3 minus 2 is 1, and 3 minus 1 is 2. So the slope of the second line is 1/2. So this was line B, and this was line A. All right, and that's it. So the trickiest part will be writing down what the coordinates are based on those points that they give you, and then plugging it in and making sure you get all your negatives correct. So I'm going to show you line S in number 2 because it has a little bit of a different situation. You can see that it's a vertical line. So again, I'm going to write down the coordinates for this line, which will be 4 and -2 and 4 and -6. And we're going to plug them in. Remember, we got y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So I'm going to label my ordered pairs. It will not let me write above. And then I'm just going to plug it in. So I get m equals -6 minus a -2 and 4 minus 4. So these turn to plus. I get m equals -4 over 0. Now when I get a 0 on the bottom, that is called an undefined slope. So make sure you write this in your notes. This is really important. If there's a 0 on the bottom, it's an undefined slope. And that means it's a vertical line. If there's a 0 on top, it's called a zero slope. And that means it's a horizontal line. So, I can't pick the color. So if I get m equals 0 over 3, for example, we're going to call that zero slope. And that will be a horizontal line. And this will be a vertical line. So for numbers 4 through 9, it gives us a coordinate and the slope, and it wants us to graph the line. So the thing I'm going to do first is just plot that ordered pair, plot that point first. So I have +3 and +5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That would be right there. So I know that part of my line is going to go through that point, and then they give me the slope, which is -4 over 5. So I can just follow that slope from that point and get the rest to get another point to plot that line. Sorry, having trouble speaking. So -4 means I'm going to go down 4 from that initial point that I made. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then +5, remember we always go to the right 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's my second point. And then I can just connect the dots. And that's the line of those coordinates and that slope. Okay, so we're looking at number 6 now, because the slope on this one just has a whole number. So if the slope has a whole number, I'm going to use my imaginary one that's always on the bottom to help complete that slope for me. So I'm going to plot the first point, 4, -1, so over 4 and down 1. There's my first point. And from this point now, I'm going to go up 2, because I have a positive 2, 1, 2, and over 1, always moving to the right for that bottom number of the slope. So that becomes my second point, and there's my line for number 6. So on this one, I have 3, 9, so I'm going to go over 3, and I'm going to go up 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's not going to let me pull it down. Okay, I can't. There's 3, 9, and remember in the notes a few minutes ago I showed you that when M is undefined, it is a vertical line. So if it says M is undefined, that means I'm just going to draw a vertical line to complete it through that first point that they gave me. 9 says 1, -1 are my coordinates, so I'm going to plot that first, to the right 1 and down 1. And then it says M is 0. And remember from our notes, when M is 0, we have a horizontal line. So I'm just going to draw a horizontal line going straight through that ordered pair that they gave me. For the last section, you're just using that formula that we used in the beginning, plugging in these ordered pairs and solving. So the first thing I'm going to do is label my x1, y1, x2, y2, and then I'm just going to plug it in and solve. M equals 8. Sorry. M equals 6 minus 3 over 8 minus 2. That's alright, it's just notes. Okay, and then just simplify. 6 minus 3 is 3, and 8 minus 2 is 6. And what does 3 over 6 reduce to? 1/2. So the slope of this line is 1/2. And that's all. Let me know if you have any questions.